Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're doing the live stream again for XRP. We actually just got a lot more volume in on XRP, and things are really kind of heating up. So let's actually jump into this and let's talk about a few things. And I will take some time at the end to answer all your questions, really kind of go through the chat and kind of engage with you guys. I know that's been a little bit of time since we live streamed last, so this should be pretty fun. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So one, okay, is Bitcoin. A lot of people have been watching Bitcoin closely, and I have as well, actually, especially the Bitcoin dominance chart, especially even with the dollar as well. Most of the things that we are seeing on not only the charts, but also in regards to the indicators around crypto are kind of pointing to a major sort of run up. And we've actually been noticing this a lot with some of the tokens that we accumulated. For example, on the 24-hour span, you guys do see XRP actually making some nice gains, about 7.43% up. On the 7-day span, about 10.25%. We're going to be talking about the volume. We're going to be talking about things happening around XRP. XLM is also peaking. I told you guys to check out XLM a couple weeks back when we first started to see XRP starting to break out a little bit. HBAR has been something very exciting to watch as well. And just recently, Casper up 20% on the 7-day span. So a lot of altcoins are going a little bit crazy. I mean, on the 7-day span, if we actually look at the gains on the top 100, we can actually see Casper leading the way. It's sitting at number 91. It's been doing some major moves recently. I think that I'm going to be doing a video on Casper actually later today. But we've been watching a lot of the charts. XRP, the main thing on this chart that we were watching was about almost 50 cents. It was 49.69 in regards to the centile range. And this started to break out. Now, this is on the 3-day span. We were actually looking at the weekly when we were looking at this resistance. On the 3-day span, we're actually breaking out a lot in regards to the resistance area that we have on this chart, which was a little bit around the 49-cent zone. We are currently trading at about 52.5 cents. This was coiling up. We recently made a video on this as well. I said, prepare for what happens after we break out of the major resistance zone that we are at. Now, obviously, with this, we also have to pay attention to the candle wicks. Because remember, if we do break out of resistance, we need a strong breakout. What I would love to see, and this is like the biggest indicator around XRP having higher continuation, is us to backpedal and have this kind of build a floor here on about the 49-cent zone as support. I don't want to see us break down too low, be below 49 cents. That's the biggest key here. Now, a few indicators that are playing into the run on XRP, and like I said, volume infused. We have been seeing a major amount of volume in on XRP going all the way back to the June. It was like the 3-day span of June 30th. This was very exciting because, again, this is basically when the volume bottomed out on the OBV, this on-balance volume. On-balance volume is actually looking pretty good here. As you guys do see, it has been continuing to trail higher and higher. The only issue here is that we are hitting an area that we topped out on in regards to OBV back in March of this year. So we want to see volume continuously come in and kind of push us to higher levels. We want to break out clearly above, I think it's like 60, almost, yeah, so it's like almost 62 cents. That's what we want to really kind of see XRP break out of. But as you guys do see on the 3-day span, volume in general has been diminishing, but the OBV is what we are actually watching for in regards to volume. RSI also looks pretty good. It is about to peak on the 3-day, but I think right now it does still look pretty good. On the weekly, we could also see a big indicator here of why we need a lot more volume to really kind of feel this run up. So one, what I really like about the weekly chart and what I actually find very bullish about the weekly chart for XRP is where we kind of came down and tested. And as you guys can see on this chart, don't know if you guys can see or not, it's all good if you don't notice this, but we came back down to test the 20 EMA on the weekly, which is this green line down here. And as you guys do see, we utilized it as support. What's going on, Maddie the Greatest? I appreciate you stopping by. But you can see why this was important for us to kind of come back down and have a nice little bounce off of, because every single time that we have traded above the 20 weekly EMA, for an example, going all the way back to when we were really kind of trading above it, is all the way in the summer of 2021. This is when we first broke up above it, and we kind of trailed on it. We had a little bit of a spike here. We ultimately kind of wicked down below it, but ultimately we continued to go a little bit higher. A big indicator is going all the way back to the high that we recently made in 2021. As you guys do see back here, we broke out of it in November of 2020. We trailed a little bit above it. We hit about 79 cents, and then essentially the SEC lawsuit came in and threw us down the stairs, and we kind of bottomed all the way out back down here in like the 17-cent zone. And then ultimately, back in January, we broke out of it yet again and trailed on it to almost $2. So that is a big area for us to focus on, but what we really want to see now, because we already have that flipped into a support zone, what we want to see is us break out of the 250 weekly EMA, which is that blue and also orange line up there. Now, recently we did tap the orange line. As you guys do see on the run up from September 19th on the weekly, we tapped it perfectly and we rejected off of it, which was, again, expected. Travis Eilers, what's causing the pump? It's honestly just volume in. You know, it's... Nobody can really tell you what is causing a pump directly. I would argue that it might be some speculation with the lawsuits. It might just be, you know, price action coiling up. But ultimately, OBV looks very good. We want to see a lot more OBV on the weekly, which is just on balance volume. But that will basically feel us breaking out. But the biggest problem here and the biggest issue that I see with XRP is us tapping this 200 weekly EMA. We need to break above the 200 weekly EMA and also even the 50 to really kind of see this go into a major run-up above 62 cents, flip 62 cents into its support zone, and then try to break out of the biggest resistance zone that we're going to have to really kind of test against, which is 92 cents. And just so that you guys know, 92 cents was the biggest one to really kind of break out of. That's the one that we really wanted to watch for, going all the way back to the $2 run-up. We were really kind of watching it back then. Because again, 92 cents for the longest time on the macro chart, which I could kind of show you guys real quick by just zooming out. So here's 92 cents. It's always been a major resistance zone, even going all the way back to like April of 2018. We instantly cleared it back in 2017 and 2018 because of the amount of volume back here. But you could definitely see right now why we are watching 92 cents. I mean, we've tapped it so many times, and we could never really kind of break out of it, even though it was weaker every single time that we did retest it. But it is a very strong resistance zone. But we are also a little bit at resistance right now. So I wouldn't get too excited on this breakout, but it is a nice little breakout above resistance, specifically the resistance that we have been trading trading against recently. So breaking out of that is very nice to see. OBV is also playing into it on the daily. We could also kind of see this nice little run up. Again, biggest issue here is the volume indicator actually having a little bit of diminished volume, but again, OBV still kind of there. It is sort of flattening out, which is a big issue to me. I just don't like when I see OBV flattening out while we are seeing diminished volume. Again, it really kind of just shares an insight on the fact that the run-up is kind of weaker compared to like the recent ones. Like for example, back on September 23rd, this was a nice little breakout and price increase off of volume alone. So we are watching it on the lower time frames. It still looks pretty decent here, but OBV has been diminishing on the 12 hours since September 9th, which is also a big indicator that we are still trading against resistance. We need a lot more volume into XRP as of now. So we really want to see the bulls come in and really kind of push this even higher and really, bring a ton of volume in as well. Golden Cross is on the way. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely see it. It really is on the on the 3-day span, we are seeing a lot of crossings happening here, but I do believe that a Golden Cross will happen eventually. Hello, by the way, Nick. Hey, what's up, Travis? What's going on, Ben? Chop, Ryan, October Black Swan event, market crash. Don't know if it's going to be October. I mean, most people are expecting November, so I could definitely see it happening by the end of this month, but who knows? We definitely have to watch closely. Push a 1K. Yeah, I don't know about 1K, but I do think that we could see some nice high price range targets for XRP if it does behave accordingly. But right now, what I am watching for is on the weekly, just us to break out of the 200 weekly EMA. But also, we've been watching the Bitcoin price chart for XRP, and this is going to be a little bit of a challenge here because, as you guys do see, we are looking at the 200 weekly EMA on this as well. And every single time in the past, for an example, first off, this is in a bull flag formation. Also, the USD chart, bull flag formation. And the problem here with the bull flag formation is usually they do work into, pushing. And when we really kind of look at the 200 weekly EMA here, it has wicked above it slightly in the past before ultimately, and you guys can definitely see here, this is the SEC lawsuit, massive plunge back in May of 2021. It wasn't a massive drop, but it still was a downtrend that formed all the way until around like June of this year. So we're watching to see if we are going to have a strong rejection here on XRP's price chart to really kind of see if we can buy a major dip, really kind of see where we are going to head to. I'm watching all of these charts very closely. Again, I've been really kind of paying attention to almost every single chart out there in regards to even like XRP dominance, which, by the way, on the XRP dominance, this thing has been rising drastically in the recent week. For an example, going all the way back to about September is when we first started to see this kind of breaking out. Then all of a sudden by around like the end of September, that's when we really kind of start to see it really kind of surge. And right now we're kind of watching it ride up to about the 200 weekly EMA, again at about 3.36%. And again, I share with you guys this because going all the way back to November of 2020, you could see the wick above the weekly 200 EMA, and the issue here is to see if we are going to reject and see a massive sell-off on XRP. Again, remember, the move recently on XRP has been really kind of powered by speculation. A lot of people think that a settlement is around the corner. I don't believe so. I've always said, listen, a settlement can happen at any time. I wouldn't be expecting it anytime soon. I'm more so looking at like the 2 to 9 month time frame, which would be June of next year. A lot of people think that that's FUD, which I think is absolutely idiotic. But again, to me, a settlement is huge, but it's not as huge as like XRP being fully adopted for like on-demand liquidity purposes, XRP being utilized on a daily basis for on-demand liquidity corridors, things like that. That's what I'm really kind of looking at in regard to XRP, but again, a settlement definitely would open the door for XRP to not only be adopted within the United States, but also globally with ease. So we still are paying attention to the settlement very closely. I think that that's probably one of the biggest catalysts for XRP's price jump. And I think that that's why we are seeing a lot of speculation around it, which is ultimately leading to price action. But we definitely have to watch and wait and see what happens next, because I do think that if we don't see a settlement within like the November timeframe, which everyone is expecting, we most likely will see a sell-off. But who knows what's going to happen here. We are just watching the OBV. We are watching volume closely. We are watching the levels closely, because if we do peak above the 200 weekly EMA here and start to break out above the 50, that's going to be pretty big, because it means that we are breaking out of all major EMAs. And the only other chart to actually do that was QNT, and we really kind of looked at at QNT closely in a video recently when it did start to peak above all EMAs. And this is still looking pretty strong, by the way, on the weekly. We've been looking at this on the 3-day more closely, because again, you can kind of see it building a floor up there above. I think that this is the 236 at $132. So this still looks very good. It is still trading under resistance. If it can break out of $142 and really kind of go up and test $189, that would be very very exciting for me, at least. I know that a lot of people also have their own idea on where this could go to. Could it go to $200 plus? Sure. But this is also another very bullish altcoin that I have been watching for because it is still trading at resistance. Is it going to have a massive sell-off? Is it going to have a major rejection? We don't know. Volume is still diminishing. But this is the only other major price chart that I've seen that is breaking out of all EMAs. Not even Casper is doing that. So we are watching to see if XRP is going to also repeat that, EMA breakout. But let me check out what's going on in the chat real quick. So, Joseph, I appreciate your analysis, Nick. Hey, I appreciate you for stopping by. Adrian, have been. It's a hard choice. We do see Travis. Gary needs to. Yeah, I mean, honestly, listen, the SEC, You guys already know my thoughts on the SEC. I've said it time and time again that the SEC is an absolute joke. I really, first off, all of these major agencies don't know how to properly regulate crypto. So they are going in blindly as well and just kind of attacking whatever they think is a security. And what, first off, there's a clear, picking of winners and losers within the regulatory stance around crypto right now, and I think it's absolutely disgusting, especially with like what Senator Loomis is doing with Bitcoin. It's really disgusting. So again, like regulatory jurisdiction is it's chaotic right now around crypto. But yeah, what is going to happen tomorrow, 10/8? Honestly, probably nothing. Like I'm not really expecting anything big happening tomorrow, or technically today now, because it is over midnight. Ain't getting no settlement this year, and even if we did, it won't cause XRP to moon. That won't happen until we get confirmation that CBDCs will be using on-demand liquidity. I don't think that. See, that's the biggest thing about CBDCs. I don't think that CBDCs are going to make XRP skyrocket off of announcements and things like that. I think that with CBDCs, the biggest thing around price action is utility. I think that once we do see utilization, that's going to be the big driver of success. It's not going to be retail hands. I've always said this as well, going all the way back to when we initially ran up to about like $2. I said, $2 is great, but ultimately we need a lot more price action in. So when we look at what XRP is going to do, it's going to be fueled by institutional grade adoption and the major banking and central banks as well. Like that's what I look forward to. Also with CBDCs, I think that they will be issued out on private DLT basis, which is also playing into like Q&T success, which I've always said on this channel. I think that Q&T is going to be huge in that area. But XRP, in my opinion, will play a vital role in a lot of the transactional and settlement area. Instant settlement is a big focus point, and we just recently seen Swift take hold of that. Swift definitely wants to be utilizing DLT because I also believe that they understand the efficiencies behind DLT. I think that DLT is revolutionary in regards to the technology stack behind it, as well as the efficiencies compared to traditional systems. So when we actually look at what XRP is going to do at that moment, I think that it could be a settlement bridge for CBDCs. I think that that's the biggest focus, and I think that that has been the entire XRP community's focus since day one. Is once we do see digital fiat, if you will, or tokenized fiat, that XRP will essentially be the bridge between all of them. But I don't believe that that is necessarily viable because again, you're going to have multiple DLTs playing a vital role, which again, I think that the XRP ledger with XRP also plays a vital role. I just don't think that's going to grasp all of the money like everyone has touted for so long, simply because you already see major banks choosing other DLTs, private DLTs, public DLTs. That's also why I say that Q&T is going to be the big winner out of that entire area. But that's, again, my opinion. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Again, I can only speculate so much. Good day, folks, from Australia. Thanks, Nick. Hey, I appreciate that. XRP 369. Paulo, hi. Can you make analysis on Casper, please? Yeah, I'm going to do a video on Casper later on today, so definitely stay tuned to that. I think that Casper is doing very well, and I think it's very exciting. Good morning from the UK. Hey, I appreciate that, Lee. Agree or disagree, every day that passes, we are more likely to get bullish news. I think that every day that passes is another day tallied up in regards to us actually fully bottoming out in crypto. Remember, right? Going all the way back here, let's go over to the Q&T chart and let's go to the total. So I've been sharing with you guys my idea on crypto. So real quick, off of the time that we fully topped out on in regards to the total, this is all of crypto, by the way. It has currently been about 329 days since our official topping out and since we have been breaking down. So this is 329 days total. Just to give you guys a quick insight, going all the way back to 2017 and 2018's bull run, off of where we topped out on, and this is a little bit of a confusing area because, again, like some people argue that March of 2020 was our official bottom. I don't believe that that was the case. I think that that was like a little bit of a mid-cycle correction, but it was like roughly around 343 to possibly like 350 days until we fully bottomed out, which means we are very close to our bottom in crypto. Again, if we do follow the 343-day time frame, then we would essentially bottom out on October 17th. But a lot of people do believe that we could actually stretch a little bit longer into the November timeframe, which I think is possible as well. I think that we could possibly, even if we bottom out, back, we'll say November 28th, right? The week of November 28th. This will be officially 385 days, which I still think is a very good area of focus. I still think that November should be the timeline that we really kind of watch for. This doesn't go all the way back to, 2014, 2013, so I can't really do a timeline on that. But I believe that we are nearing our official bottoming out point. I shared with you guys, I don't think I shared in this, so I didn't do TA on Bitcoin at all in this video. But I will say this, on Bitcoin, if you guys do care about Bitcoin, which, I guess if you do, it is fine, because again, Bitcoin is still driving this market until, Bitcoin dumb starts to drop rapidly. The biggest problem with Bitcoin right now is you guys can see on this chart that we've been fighting a major resistance area of the 20 weekly EMA, which is that yellow line. We hit it and rejected off of it perfectly. So 20.6K is the big area of focus on Bitcoin currently. Until we break out of that, anything is possible. And when I say anything is possible, I mean like we could still retest about $16,000 or possibly even, lower. I know that a lot of people have been calling for like 14K, 10K, whatever. Again, I'm not going to try to predict where Bitcoin bottoms out on, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had one massive sell-off event yet again. I still am in my positions. I've been taking a lot of positions, as you guys probably are aware of, but that's what I've been paying attention to right now around like this entire market. I think that we are nearing our official bottoming out phase, and every single day that does pass, we get closer and closer to that point. But yeah. I think you are spot on. There are a lot of us who have gathered these opinions from the information presented. Yeah, there's a ton of information to really kind of look at. Again, I could only provide you guys my insight on what I think is going to happen, but what I think is going to happen compared to what somebody else's, it all differs. And again, I don't think that you should just take one person's ideas and say, all right, well, that's 100% what's going to happen. No, I think that we should take from each other. I think that we should really kind of have, a constructive, thought process on it and discussion and really kind of come to, an end goal on what we believe is going to happen. But again, it's what we believe is going to happen, not what will happen. There's a ton of, scenarios that could essentially happen if they do want to, fully reset the entire monetary system, which I've talked about in my last XRP video. I think it was the one that a great reset is essentially upon us. I think that is actually boiling up. I think that we are getting close to that point. But there is like 3 scenarios that could essentially happen, and ultimately there could be a lot more, but those are like the 3 main ones that we have been focused on in regards to like the IMF, the BIS, and the governmental, agenda pushed on it. So that's what we've been focused on. Great, thanks. I know nothing about this Zoom wallet. If it's worth looking into, let me know. I utilized Zoom wallet a little bit for airdrops and stuff, but my XRP is stored on a ledger, so I can't really give you too much insights on Zoom. Maybe somebody else in the chat could. I know that a lot of people do like Zoom. I go with, ledger. Hey Nick, do you know if the Flare network is allowing staking of XRP? I do not know. I know that I heard some, rumors about it. But I've also heard rumors that you're going to be able to stake XRP and earn $100,000 a year off of it. So again, there's so much nonsense kind of being pushed around XRP, and there's been so much nonsense pushed around XRP for so long. And it doesn't really hurt those that have been a part of the XRP journey for so long, because I'm sure that a lot of you can sense the nonsense. But new investors and newcomers to the space, they really kind of take that information and run with it. I can make a video tomorrow and I could have a very constructive breakdown on why I believe that XRP is going to go to X amount of dollars. Does that mean that it's going there? No, but you will have a lot of people that will hold XRP until that price figure. And the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I talk about this is because we've heard so much speculation around what Flare will morph into, but we just don't know. I do believe that there will be a ton of passive income opportunities on Flare, but we just don't know the base point of what it's going to morph into. So we definitely have to wait and see until it does fully go live. I think that should be the major focus right now, is just Flare going live, because we've been waiting for over 2 years for Flare to officially, be launched. So that's what we are waiting for on that. XRP is past its bottom, it seems. Yeah, it might be. Unless, I will say this, unless XRP has a massive sell-off at the direct time that Bitcoin starts to crash down to, we'll say, 10K, 14K, whatever, then I do believe that the bottom is in for a lot of these altcoins. A lot of these altcoins do look bottomed out, but we just have to wait, be patient, have stable coins on the sidelines to average in, and really kind of just wait. That's all it is. Do you think we could bottom out this month? A lot of altcoins have been holding up well compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, I think that we could bottom out this month. If not, then it's going to be in November. I think that after November, I don't think that we really will have to worry about us bottoming out anymore. Again, anything is possible. Cycles can change. Things can be a little bit different. I think that we've all learned that. But we have to watch and see what is on the chart. I always like to say I trade the chart. I don't trade what ifs, what can, what could. I really kind of just look at the chart. So that's what I look at. Let's see. Nick, I'm having trouble storing my XRP on the Ledger Nano for my iPhone. Could you help me out? There's a ton of videos on YouTube that really kind of go in depth on how to store your XRP. It is pretty easy. You just need to set up, first off, you really need to set up your Ledger on a desktop. Have Ledger Live, set up Ledger Live, and utilize that, because that's like the best way to really kind of look at not only your holdings, but also make sure that you have everything kind of set up properly, make sure that you were double checking everything. It's very easy compared to utilizing like a mobile phone, but there's a ton of, I think even Kevin Cage goes in depth on how to store XRP on a Ledger. So many other great individuals from the XRP community also made videos on it, but that would be my best advice for you, to really kind of look at some of those videos. Thought on Charles Hoskinson's comments about the XRP community peddling conspiracy theories about the SEC. Yeah, so listen, I've told you guys openly that I actually don't support Cardano and ADA. I don't see the major reason to. A lot of people think that ADA is going to be, this absolute incredible project going forward, and it's going to be this, it's going to do that. I will say this, I have not been a supporter of ADA at all. I just don't like the project. I don't like the people behind it. I don't like the company at all. I think that Charles is very smart. I think that, he has his own ideas. But around XRP, we have seen a ton of FUD. We've seen a lot of concerns, doubts. One thing's for sure, though, like around the SEC, we have seen a massive pushed agenda. And we've definitely focused on that. We've focused on the FUD being built out around the SEC. Listen, the SEC's on a PR stunt with the Kim Kardashian stuff. We've also been focusing on a lot of what the SEC's trying to do and accomplish. A lot of people think that the SEC is trying to kill crypto. Is that the case? It might be. So, again, do I think that he's right on with the XRP community, with conspiracy theories? I think that the XRP community has been pushing a lot of conspiracy theories for the longest time. But I think that the SEC, thoughts and, videos are pretty accurate. And I think that they depict a ton of the information that really kind of got released from the SEC very perfectly in regards to supporting their thoughts, supporting their arguments, and ultimately we all know that Bitcoin and Ethereum for the longest time did get the free pass. So that's what we definitely watched for on that. I don't think that he's right about, the conspiracy theories with the SEC. Thanks, I listen to your recorded videos daily and I like your work. Hey, I appreciate it. Did the stock market crash? No bottom is in. Watch 2000 and 1929. Again, with the stock market crash, I think that a lot of it is just kind of fear-mongering. I just recently said this as well with the banks kind of going insolvent. I think that a lot of it is just trying to shake everyone out. I said it on Twitter as well. I said, a lot of people will be so fearful to jump into the market at the right time. March of 2020 was the perfect example of that. Everyone was expecting lower, lower, and lower. And guess what? We went higher, higher, and higher. The biggest problem is that retail will play perfectly into what they want you to see, what they want you to hear. And they listen. They listen every single time because emotions are too attached to the game. And that's the simple story behind that. I don't really care for the idea of, oh, we're going to see another 2008 crisis happen where everything's going to crash, this, that. Again, I don't play into that. A lot of people think that, all right, well, the US dollar is on the brink of collapse. Well, if that is the case, then crypto and even the stock market are your best outlet of investment vehicles, as well as even gold. And I've said this time and time again, because again, if the US dollar collapses, risk on assets usually take over. March of 2020 is again a perfect example of that. I tried Soren Casper on my Nano, but no luck. Again, Kevin Cage has an incredible video on that. HBAR to the Nano X has been trying for me. My laptop might be a tad old. I was actually it was very easy to store HBAR on my Nano X. Also, yes, I do. There's a ton of fake Ledger apps. There's also a ton of fake Ledger stores and stuff. So definitely, make sure that you are taking everything very serious. Bit concerning, or staking your XRP is going to be possible after mass adoption. Yeah, probably. This guy who helped building Ethereum found it, ADA, and it's also a world economic coin like XRP. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just not, I really don't care for ADA. There's way better technology in this space than ADA. I mean, HBAR, for an example, is way better than ADA technologically. So, yeah. It's not fear-mongering. They're still printing money. The dollar as a world currency is over. So much stuff happening in the world. Yeah, I do agree. But, again, when you look at you go back in time to March of 2020, you could see the correlation between the US dollar and risk on assets. Once the US dollar drops in value, everyone will turn to crypto. They will turn to gold, silver. They will look at where to store their money to save their money and save the value of it. So I do think that at that time, we will see not only a new reserve currency rise, which I think that a reserve currency will be 100% digital. I think that is when they're trying to collapse the dollar, and I've talked about this plan behind it. Again, it is a conspiracy theory, but my plan on it that I've looked at is they're trying to collapse the US dollar so that we could ultimately usher in a new reserve currency that will ultimately be digital, which will be CBDCs. That's what I believe is at least happening within that. Do you think that Casper will pull back again? Yeah, I think that we will see a pullback on a lot of those assets that did a massive run-up. After the crash, it will be smart to invest. All the printed money has to be flushed out the markets. Yeah. Well, also, remember, they're not actually printing physical money. This is the biggest issue that a lot of people have on YouTube. They think that, and I've seen creators push this idea that they're printing money. They're printing physical money. There's so much physical money out there that they have no idea what to do with it. A lot of the money that they are, in quotation marks, printing is digital. So they could easily delete zeros. They could easily delete money out of the system. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, if you don't believe that, you could check out a ton of information. There's a few economic videos on YouTube that actually talk about this. Most of the US dollar in circulation technically is digital. So definitely look into that if you guys haven't already, because that will also give you guys a nice insight on what's happening around the US dollar in terms of printing, and I should say quotation marks printing. But yeah. Let me see. Gold, silver, and crypto. Yeah, I've been stacking gold quite a bit with crypto. I've been diversifying a lot recently. Gave up trying to get HBAR on the Nano X. Need a PC. That's why I bought it, so I didn't need a PC. Yeah, I mean, you need a PC just to set it up, but besides that, you don't really need a PC. Anyone else notice Solo is up almost 50%? I have not checked out Solo in a while, but that is something exciting. Question, do you think that the XRP will drop below 45 cents again? And lastly, when the SEC or CFTC fines a company for wrongdoing, where does the fine money go? I would argue that the fine money probably gets paid to someone. We don't know where that money goes, but we've been watching a few things happening around it, but we don't know what's going to happen with all of that money. All we know is that the taxpayers basically get screwed on that deal. But also, talking about XRP dropping to about like 45 cents or so, remember that the major support zone here is about 44.5 cents or so. So definitely watch like 44 and a half cents being retested. That's the major support zone. Also, we still are at some resistance here on this breakout. So just pay attention to the resistance zones and stay focused on where we could have a rejection. The rejection will most likely happen between the 200 and the 50 weekly EMA, which is that blue and orange line here on the chart. So yeah. And Nick, do you like Corium? I haven't really looked at it. Best crypto channel. We appreciate all the hard work. Hey, I appreciate that and the research and dedication you put into it. Utility tokens for the win, 100%. I love utility gems. By the way, we appreciate all you do to help us. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate you. BRICS nations are going to lead the new financial system. The West is finished. Gold standard is coming back. I do believe that we will see CBDCs tied to gold issued out on DLTs. That's what I actually believe is going to happen. So we don't know what's going to happen, but either way, all we know is that gold and crypto will most likely be ushered out of that new gold standard system or whatever new standard system that they're bringing in. Crypto and gold is going to play a vital role, and both of those will respectfully gain a ton of value off of the major move. And I'm not talking about all of crypto, because remember, it's going to be the utility gems that really kind of succeed. Nick, do you like Corium? I think that I just answered that. Best wallet for XDC? No doubt a decent wallet. Decent is like one of the best. I actually love Decent for XDC. It took me 5 minutes to get XRP on the Nano X, but not the H-bar. H-bar is a little bit more of a challenge just because they don't have full Ledger Live support, I believe. So it is a little bit, weird. ALBT, big moves lately. Yeah, 100%. When staking on Casper Live, is there any potential scammers as validators? Not if you go through the official ones and the ones that do have like most of the volume. There is some, shady dealers within those areas, so definitely, make sure that you are doing a lot more research on it. Sometimes staking is just not worth the, locking up of tokens. Sometimes just having the tokens in your own hand, having them in your ledger, storing them wherever you want to. Sometimes that is even more valuable than like the 9% or the 10%. So it's totally up to you though. Can Casper be stored on Ledger? It does have Ledger support, and they actually do have a full-on Ledger breakdown on their website as well. So if you actually go over here to Casper, let me actually go to, I think I just went to their ecosystem, but let me go to how to. I think here's where we could actually kind of see everything. So over here on their how-to section, I think it was, yeah, they have a ledger set up, and then they do break down how to set up the ledger fully. This is on docs.casperlabs.io, workflow ledger setup. If you guys do want this, I could actually drop this real quick in the chat. So here you guys have it. I'll drop it in the chat real quick if you guys do want to learn how to store your Casper on a ledger. By the way, only click links from my official name. Please make sure that you are making sure, double checking everything like that it is from me. But that's the official Casper Labs website on how to store your Casper on a ledger. Can SGB Songbird be stored on a ledger? Hey, what's going on, Rena or Rena? I hope that I'm saying that name right. I'm probably not, but I don't store my Songbird on a ledger. I actually store it on Bitfrost wallet, just so that you know. XRP or XDC? I would say XDC right now if you have a decent bag of XRP. If you don't have a decent bag of XRP, I would wait for a pullback. So, with that in mind, let's double check and really kind of look at a few things real quick. So, before I end this video, just because it has been going on for about 40 minutes now, I want to look at a few things real quick. So, one, let's actually go and check out Bitcoin. So, like I said recently, with Bitcoin, it has been trading at some major resistance areas. It has been really kind of tapping off of the 10 weekly EMA here. This is a big issue. So with this, we have been looking at the 3-day span. We've also been looking at the 1-day span. And we've also been looking at the 12-hour. Now, on all of these time frames, you could really kind of see it on the daily, by the way. We are hitting major resistance. We are trading below almost every single EMA. Well, now we are trading below every single EMA. Volume is diminishing. On balance, volume is completely trash on the daily as well, which is a lot of people selling off. With this, Bitcoin dominance itself has also been hitting a major resistance area of the 20 weekly EMA, that green line up there, and now recently has broken down below every single EMA. Again, on all of these charts, it's really kind of showing us that Bitcoin is actually very, very weak right now. With that, what we could see is if Bitcoin dominance is going to start to break down, we will see altcoins like XRP kind of take over. I also think that that is why when we look at XRP dominance, that's why XRP dominance is doing an absolute massive move here, sitting at about almost 3%. This is very interesting. Now, what we have been noticing as well is if we go over here to CMC, now, mind you, CMC is very, it's kind of unreliable on certain days because it will tell you the wrong volume. But the thing that I have been noticing here is if you look on the right side, you can check out the dominance. And XRP is one of the only altcoins right now that has been gaining massively in dominance over this market. Now, why is that very important? Well, when we look at dominance, dominance is basically the percentage that an asset holds in terms of the total crypto market cap. If XRP continues to break out in regards to dominance and the price continues to skyrocket, and I shouldn't say skyrocket because that's just like, that's almost like a moon boyish term. I should say the price continues to pump up a little bit. Then we will see dominance start to break out above the 200 weekly EMA, which, by the way, that the last time that we were trading above this was all the way back in April of 2019. That's how long it has been since XRP has traded above the 200 weekly EMA on the dominance chart. So breaking up above this would not only be a historical moment in time for XRP, but it will also provide an insight on where XRP's price is about to go. Now, what we want to see is a clean break above it like we did see during 2017 and 2018 and flip it into support and continue to rise. By the way, I share this with you because back in 2017, we did see XRP actually hit a high of about 30.98% market dominance. That is absolutely insane. So we are watching XRP closely to see what's going to happen here in regards to dominance. Are we about to top out at the 200 weekly EMA, or are we about to break out of it? We don't know, but things are looking very good on XRP. Also, for everyone out there that was looking at the US dollar, now this is going to be paused for a little bit of time, but we have focused on the US dollar in the past couple days as well. Recently, everyone was getting very excited when we seen the dollar starting to drop here on the weekly. As you guys can see on the 3-day span, you could also kind of see it. But it looks like it back tested the 10 3-day EMA. And right now it has been gaining some momentum. What we really want to see is a breakdown. And this is actually, you can see this on the weekly as well. What we really want to see is a breakdown below the 20 weekly EMA, which is this green line. That would insinuate the fact that the dollar has officially topped out and we are going to see a run up on risk on assets. And I've always shared this with you guys because guess what? The US dollar is crucial for the success of risk on assets classes like crypto, and it would really kind of ignite a major bull run in regards to crypto if we did see the US dollar do a 180 turnaround. XRP's price action recently has been very exciting, and I will definitely continue to watch the price chart on XRP. I've been watching it very closely in the last couple of days, and we have been really kind of paying attention to things happening around XRP because ultimately in the last couple of days, and you know, going all the way back to when we officially started to break out, which was September 16th, XRP is up an astronomical amount, especially from the lows that we recently bought at. This is up about 63%. This is no joke at all. I actually just seen somebody mention in the chat 7 to 8% you call huge. No, I call 60+% pretty huge because that is a massive gain. And if you had the luck of buying back in the summertime, then you are up right now 83% at the current price. And if you go off of the topping point that we recently hit as well, this is about 95% of a gain. This is pretty huge. And even if you were buying support back here and averaging in, then you were also up 80%, and at the current price action, you were up about 70%. So when we really kind of look at XRP, and if we can break out of the 62-cent zone, the next major move up would be that nice fib level up there at about like 62 cents. This would be a 98, almost a 99% gain off of just the support range back here. And if you were talking about the bottom level of the June time frame, this is about a 115% increase in price. That is very exciting. So we are watching XRP closely, not only on the 1 day, we're watching it on the 3 day, and as you guys do see, on the 3 day, we are flipping resistance into support, which is the biggest key sign to really kind of show us what's going to be happening next. I will expect us to hit a little bit of a wall up here at about 59 cents, right before 60 cents. But if we could break through that and break through 62 cents, which is currently sitting at the 0.5 fib level, then that could be very exciting because the next level after that would be 92 cents. So with that being said, thank you for everyone for stopping by. It was great chatting with you all. If you guys did enjoy the live stream or the video, hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As those up, you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.